Number 3, you are often highly reactive. The Queen archetype in you is the power that has the most clarity and consciousness about a couple of things. One, what's really happening around her, and two, what she wants for her life long term. The maiden in you is usually just wanting to get away to do her own thing, to explore and experience spontaneously. The mother in you tends to just focus on what others around her need and then try to provide it. The wise woman in you usually just wants a little peace and quiet. It is the queen in you who is willing to see what is really happening, both with her own consciousness, her own deep motivations and ego drives, and with the consciousness of others and the actions arising therefrom, from others, of people around you. So, of course, unexpected things occasionally happen that we have no choice but to react to. But overall, if you find that maybe some 80% of the time you are highly negatively reactive to others, this may be a sign that your queen is not present. The more conscious and clear we are, the less reactive we are. The queen is the aspect of you who is the strategist, the one looking out for her own best interests long term. She is intuitive, but impersonal. The maiden in you is the spontaneous one. The queen in you is controlled. The mother in you is warm and personal. The queen in you is cool and impersonal. And we need all those powers. We need to access all those qualities, all those abilities at the right time in our life. It's like a dance you do. Yeah, we need to be spontaneous at times when we know it's safe. And we also need to know when it is less safe. We need to know when we need to be strategic and control our responses to align with our life strategy. The queen in you does not allow the decisions and actions of others to force her into emotional reactions that are not in her best interests. Irrespective of what others want, regardless of what others choose, the queen in you calmly decides what she is going to do. She acts rather than reacts. If someone is doing something we dislike or even hate, and we react strongly without thinking, we are inadvertently letting two things control our lives. One, the actions of others, and two, our own passing emotional reactions to those actions. And this is how women make choices that end up messing up their lives and harming them in large and small ways. And this is also often how women even get killed. Once a man I was trying to break up with grabbed me. We were in his car, and I was trying to end the discussion, break up with him, and get out of his car. And just as I was trying to do that, he ended up grabbing me with one hand by the neck to prevent me from leaving the car. And my first reaction was not being scared. I was furious at that he would touch me that way, that he would put his hands on me that way. How dare he? I was furious. He was much bigger than me. He wrapped one huge hand around my skinny little neck and he started to squeeze with one hand. That's how big his hands were. They wrapped all around my neck, one hand. And I couldn't breathe, but I was still more angry than scared. My immediate emotional impulse was to react with my own aggression, to physically fight back and try to hurt him. Well, he had 100 pounds of pure muscle on me. I was 95 pounds and 5'2". And now, in retrospect, I believe it was my inner queen that saved me that night. She told me, you cannot win in a physical fight with this man. Swallow your fury, get calm, and mollify him just enough to get out of this car alive. Now, please be assured, I am not saying never fight back. No, because sometimes fighting back is absolutely the right choice. You have to use your intuition. I'm simply saying, let your impersonal queen, not your reactive emotions, dictate your actions, particularly in dicey situations like somebody closing in on your neck and trying to strangle you. Sometimes your immediate intuition will be to fight back, and that might be indeed the correct choice in that moment. For me, that night, a calm, queenly strategy served me better. Women have a lot to be angry about, but it is not always to our long-term advantage to lash out without thinking. And again, I am not saying we should just suck up all the bad treatment we get and say nothing. No, I'm simply saying be strategic. Think about your long-term goals and how to get them. Emotional reactions are not necessarily the best choice every time. You cannot unring a bell. Words spoken in reactive fury can never be unheard. And I would ask us all, is it ever in your best long-term interests to yell, fuck you, at somebody? And if you think about it, responses like that almost never get you what you want long-term. They just feel ego satisfying and powerful in the moment. But the queen lives her life in true power. If you live your life by what is satisfying to you emotionally in the moment, you will make existence very hard on yourself. The woman coming from her queen is strategic. If you find that you are constantly reacting strongly to stuff on Facebook, constantly fighting with family members, always yelling at the kids or the dogs, always furious with your employer, frequently irritated by friends, you might need better strategies for life than reactive emotion. When you are feeling reactive, ask your queen, what is in my best interests long-term here? And let her answer. Hear her. If you are always negatively reacting strongly to events around you, call upon your queen for a new strategy to set things right. You can live a life of purposeful action, not knee-jerk reaction. Blessed be.